You're lying in bed at 1 a.m., scrolling through his last messages. His location on a map, his face on a screen, his silence in your hand. You can mute him, block him, delete every trace in one tap. Now take all of that away. For 99% of human history, that escape didn't exist. If someone in your camp broke your heart, you saw them every single day. At the fire, at the river, sleeping 20 feet away. So how did they survive a broken heart with nowhere to hide from it? Let's start with what your brain is actually doing right now. In 2010, biological anthropologist Helen Fisher at Rutgers University did something unusual. She put people who had just been dumped into an MRI machine. Published in the Journal of Neurophysiology, the scans showed something strange. The same region lit up as in people craving cocaine. Not sadness, not metaphor, actual craving circuitry. The ventral tegmental area, the brain's reward engine, fired harder rejected than in love. For context, that's the same region a drug lights up during withdrawal. But here's what's fascinating. Fisher's subjects didn't describe missing a person. They described missing a hit. Obsessive thinking, restlessness, physical craving for one specific human being. Your brain doesn't file heartbreak under emotion. It files it under withdrawal. In prairie voles, researchers Sue Carter and Larry Young found something odd. A single hormone pair, oxytocin and vasopressin, bonded them for life. Remove the partner, and the same chemistry that built the bond triggers a crash. Humans run the exact same circuitry. That's not poetry, that's neurochemistry. So heartbreak is just an addiction. Simple as that, right? Not quite. Because addiction alone doesn't explain what happens next in your body. In 2003, psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran a simple experiment. Volunteers played a video game where two other players tossed a ball. Then, without warning, the game excluded them completely. Eisenberger scanned their brains at the exact moment of rejection. The anterior cingulate cortex lit up, the same region that activates when you burn your hand. Published in Science, the finding was blunt. Social rejection and physical pain share the same neural address. That's why people say heartbreak hurts. It isn't a figure of speech. Your nervous system genuinely cannot tell the difference. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. This circuit isn't new, it's ancient. Psychologist John Bowlby traced it back to infancy in the 1960s. A baby separated from its mother doesn't just feel sad. It protests, cries, searches, then eventually despairs. Bowlby called it the separation response. Neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp later found the same circuit in every mammal studied. Your broken heart is running code written for a lost infant. Not because you're weak, because you're mammal. So your body isn't malfunctioning when it aches this much. It's using the oldest alarm system it has. But that raises a harder question. If this pain is universal, hardwired, unavoidable, how did anyone survive it for 300,000 years without therapy, without apps, without distance? The answer isn't in your brain. It's in who was standing next to you. In 1981, anthropologist Marjorie Shostak published a book called Nisa. It was the recorded life story of a Juhuansi woman from the Kalahari. Nisa described separations, betrayals, and heartbreak in raw detail. But something was different about how her people handled it. In her camp, roughly 30 people lived within shouting distance. There was no house to disappear into, no door to close. When a relationship ended, everyone already knew by morning. And here's the part nobody expects. That wasn't cruelty, it was containment. Grief had nowhere to fester in private. Within hours, you were pulled back into the group, gathering food, telling stories, sitting by someone else's fire. Anthropologists studying the Hadza of Tanzania found similar patterns. Separation was common, even casual, rarely a permanent tragedy. One partner simply moved camps and rejoined a different group. No lawyers, no custody battles, no empty apartment. Because there was no apartment. There was only the group. Isolation, the thing that makes heartbreak unbearable. wasn't an option. Not because they were stronger than you, because loneliness required infrastructure they simply didn't have yet. Some groups went further, assigning someone to sit with the grieving at night. Not to fix it, just so the silence was never total. Your hands stayed busy, your fire stayed shared. Nobody healed alone because alone wasn't a place that existed yet. And that's the part that should actually unsettle you. Every human alive still carries that same 300,000-year-old alarm system. The craving, the physical ache, the separation panic. None of that has changed since Nisa's camp in the Kalahari. What changed is what happens after the alarm goes off. Your ancestors' alarm was answered within the hour by 30 people. Your alarm gets answered by a phone, alone, in a dark room. Same wiring, radically different response. In 2015, psychologist Julianne Holt-Lundstad at Brigham Young University analyzed over 300,000 people. She wanted to know what chronic loneliness actually does to a body. Published in Perspectives on Psychological Science, the number was staggering. Loneliness raised the risk of early death as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Not stress, not poor diet, isolation itself. Your ancestors never faced that specific risk. Because their heartbreak happened inside a crowd, not a bedroom. Yours happens inside four walls with a phone as the only witness. And here's the part that should really land. The cure was never privacy, it was proximity. Someone within arm's reach who simply refused to leave. We didn't fix heartbreak. We just removed the people who used to carry it with us. You can block an ex in one tap. You still can't block the part of your brain built for a campfire and 30 witnesses. That part never got the update. It's still waiting for someone to sit down next to you. Not to fix it, just to be there while it hurts. That's the thing modern comfort never replaced. Not privacy, not distance, just people close enough to notice.